everyone, my name is Rivka Rosenberg. People call me Rivki. Today I will teach you 5th graders a very special lesson about giving directions. Let's begin. By the end of this lesson, you can give and receive directions in English. If you travel and you go abroad, if you take the plane somewhere, Europe, the United States, anywhere, you will be able to give people directions or receive directions in English, of course. How do we give directions in English? The first point here on my slide is go straight. Do you see the arrow? Go straight. The second point is turn left. Turn left. The third point, as you can see the arrow, is turn right. These are the 3 first points. Go straight, turn left, or turn right. Let's continue. Now we have stop. You see on the stop sign it says stop? Stop. And the second point is go past. Means you get to a point, you go past, you continue, go past the park. You see the little dot and the arrow? Go past the park, past the cinema. Means if the cinema is here, you go past the cinema or past the park. Across from. Do you see the square and the circle? The square is across from the circle. The circle is across from the square. This next point is next to the something. Next to the. I am next to the board. Next to the something. See the square and the circle? The circle is next to the square. And the last point on the slide is between the something and the something. The red dot is between the 2 lines. I am between the board and my camera over there. Between. Between 2 things. Between the and the. Let's look at this map. It's a map of a town, a very funny name. This town is called Chicken, and it's in Alaska. It's true. It's not a fake name. It's true. It's called Chicken, Alaska. Alaska is, of course, one of the states of the United States. Let's look at this town called Chicken, Alaska. By the way, at the end of this lesson, you can maybe go on Google and check Chicken, Alaska and see pictures of it. Let's look at this map together. So there is Main Street, the main road, Main Street. Above it, on Main Street, you see a bank, a police station, and a store. So the police station is between the bank and the store. On Main Street, on the bottom, across from the bank, the police station, and the store, you have the post office, the drugstore or the pharmacy like Super Farm, and the movie theater. And you also have a restaurant and a school. What do you have on 2nd Street? You see it on the map, 2nd Street? It says in brown, hospital. And on the other side, on 1st Street, you see the library where you check out books. This is the town of Chicken, Alaska. Let's continue. So let's look at this map. The bank is number 1. Do you see the bank here? Where is the bank? The bank is on Main Street. And we have number 2 is the police station. The police station is between the bank and the store. Do you remember the word between? Between 2 things. The police station is between the bank and the store. It's on Main Street, of course. Number 3 is the store. Maybe it's an animal store. You can buy fish or you can buy a rabbit. We don't know which store that is. The store is on the corner of 2nd Street and Main Street. Number 4 is the school. The school, is near the post office. You see number 4, the school? The school is near the post office. Number 5 is the post office. If you want to mail your letter, to send a letter to someone, you go to the post office. And the post office is across from the library. Across from. And the library is number 6, is across from the school and the post office. The library, as we said, I think in Hebrew it's sifriya, the library. So this is Chicken, Alaska. Would you like to go visit Chicken, Alaska? We have all these things there. Bank, a police station, a store, a school, a post office, and a library. And this is the map of Chicken, Alaska. Now I have a question for you. From the word bank below, you have between, across from, and next to. Can you find the answer to this sentence here? The police station, look at the map. The police station is the bank and the store. What do you think the answer to this is? The police station is the bank and the store. Is it between? Is it across from? Or is it next to? Actually, the police station is between, but it's also next to. It's very tricky. It's between, but it could be also next to because they're very close. So here could be 2 answers. If you wrote next to, it's also correct, but between is more exact, I think. Let's look at this question here. Look at the school and look at the library where you check out books. The school is the library. What would you choose here? Is the school between the library? No, right? We don't have, between is usually 2 things. Is the school across from the library? Or is the school next to the library? What would you write? Bravo! The school is across from the library. It's actually across the street. Can you read the name of the street? The street is called First Street. So the school is across from the library. It's across the street from the library. I have a friend here and I'd like to introduce him to you. His name is Mr. Max. Say hi to Mr. Max. This is Mr. Max. Mr. Max has a very important job. He is a detective. I think you say in Hebrew, balash, detective. You know what he does all day long? He is looking, these days now, he is looking for a thief. Someone that stole money. Do you see the thief in the picture? So Mr. Max is a detective and he is looking for a thief. Let's look at the city map. This is where Mr. Max is looking for the thief. Can you find Mr. Max on the screen in front of you? Let's look at the map. I see Mr. Max here. Is the thief at the restaurant? Let's find it. Can you see the thief? Can you first of all, find Mr. Max? You see him on Elm Street? There's the restaurant. Is the thief at the restaurant? Mr. Max is at the restaurant. He's looking for the thief. Can you help him get to the police station? Look at the screen. We have the restaurant. You know, everyone I think knows the word restaurant, misada, and the police station. Can you help Mr. Max? Can you help him get from the restaurant to the police station? Look at the screen. This is how he went. Mr. Max went from Elm Street. He turned on to Pine Avenue. And then he turned again on, he turned right, depends how you look at the map. He turned right on Oak Street and he got to the police station. Now, Mr. Max is at the hospital. He thought that the thief, the ganav, is in the hospital. can you help him get from the hospital to the garage? Maybe the thief is at the garage fixing his car. Look at Mr. Max. He's at the hospital. How does he get to the garage? Can you help him? Very, very good. So Mr. Max walks on Oak Street. He walks straight on Oak Street until Pine Avenue. He turns right. If you look at the map like I am looking, he turns right and then left on Elm Street. And the garage is on Elm Street. Very good. Yay! Mr. Max found the thief. Now, do you know where he put the thief? The thief, he put him in jail. You see the thief? He's in jail now, so don't worry, you're safe. Now, I would like to talk to you about very, very important castle. In the town where Mr. Max lives, there is a very, very important castle. Look at the picture. C is for castle. I'm sure you know that. You say castle. You don't pronounce the T. It's silent. Castle. C is for castle. These are the important words that you'll need to know now that we are talking. We will have a short text, and I'd like to show you a few very important words. The first word is bridge. Look at the picture. Can you guess where this is? Is this in Tel Aviv? No. Is this in Haifa? No. This bridge, actually, I took this picture. It's in PEI. It's in Canada. It's in Prince Edward's Island. And it's one of the longest bridges in the world. It connects the island of PEI, Prince Edward's Island. It connects it to another province in Canada called Nova Scotia. And I don't know if you are familiar with the book Ha'asufit in Hebrew, Anne of Green Gables. The author comes from PEI, and the story of Anne of Green Gables is from PEI. Anyway, so here, this bridge is in Canada, and this is the first word for you to know, the word bridge. Second word is castle. Can you pronounce castle? Very good. Now, we have here the word soft. I brought something soft to show you. This paper is very, very soft. You see my paper is very, very soft. And the opposite of soft is hard. My telephone is very hard. Soft and hard. The next two words are buildings and build. The people in the picture here are builders, that they are building buildings. They are creating new buildings, making new buildings. They work very hard. They have a crane, they work every day, they have a helmet to protect their head. They are working, the builders build buildings. The next word is mountains. What mountain do you know in Israel? Very, very, very high mountain in the north of Israel. Do you know? Hermon. Mountains is plural. For example, the Alps in Europe are mountains. The Rocky Mountains are mountains in the United States. Mountains. Now, for the next few minutes, I would like you to, in your notebook, maybe to either take a picture of the screen or draw a little drawing and match the pictures to the words below. The word bank is the words that we just reviewed right now: bridge, mountains, castle, hard, and build. Try doing this. I'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back. Did you do this exercise? I hope you did, and I'm very curious to know what you wrote. Let's go over the answers. Number 1. Oh, mountains, you're right. How about number 2? What did you write? Build. You see the builders? They're building a building. Number 3, what did you write? Did you write hard? Number 3 is hard. Very good. And number 4, what did you write? Castle. Excellent. And the last one, of course, is bridge. Bridge. Mountains, build, hard, castle, and bridge. Let's continue. Here is a little story for you. A castle is a big, big building with many, many rooms. Many rooms. A kitchen, a living room, a library, many, many rooms. It takes many years to build a castle. Many, many years. It is hard work. Some castles are on the top of mountains. They're all the way on the top of the mountains. Some castles have bridges. They are maybe on an island and you need a bridge to cross over to get to them. All castles have very big walls. Very, very big walls. Have you ever been to a castle? I've been to many castles, especially in France, because I used to live in France. This is an example here in front of you of a castle. It's not in France. I think it's in Denmark. Have you ever been to a castle? Which castle have you visited? Now, copy the sentences and mark true or false. You have the little text in front of you and you have the 3 sentences below. I would like you to write either true, emet, or false, sheker. Number 1, let's read it together. A castle is a big building. Is it true or false? What do you think? Number 2, it is easy to build a castle. Very, very easy. In one day you make a castle. What do you think? Is it true or false? And number 3, a castle has only 1 room. Is it true or false? Take a few minutes, look at the text in front of you and write T for true or F for false. did you write for these sentences? Did you manage to write true or false? Let's go over these together. A castle is a big building. Of course it's true. It's a very, very big building. Number 2, it is easy to build a castle. No, it takes a long time to build a castle. You need many workers, many days. It's very hard work. Number 3, a castle has only one room. Of course not, it's false. A castle has many, many rooms. Let's continue now. I would like you to answer these questions. These are thinking questions. What do you think makes a castle different from other homes? Do you see in the picture there is a castle and there is a home? What's the difference between a castle and a home? And question number 2, what makes it the same? Take a few minutes and don't forget to come back, okay? Welcome back. Did you answer these questions? I'm very curious to know what you wrote. What do you think makes a castle different from other homes? From your home, for example. And what makes it the same? Here are some possible answers that I thought of. Castles are smaller than homes? No, I was fooling you. Castles are larger than homes, much, much, much larger. So number 1 is not true. Both homes and castles have walls. I hope I managed to fool you here. Castles are much larger than homes. Let's travel now to a very special place in France, in Tzofat, in France. We will travel to a castle called Chateau de Chantilly. This is how you pronounce it in French. This is my picture. I took it. I used to live in France. I did my master's degree in France, and I traveled to Chateau de Chantilly, the castle named Chantilly. Chateau is castle in French, and Chantilly is the place. As you can see from the picture, Chateau de Chantilly, the castle Chantilly, is surrounded by water. So you must cross a bridge. You remember the word bridge? You must cross a bridge to get to Chateau de Chantilly. Now, what's so famous about Chateau de Chantilly? It has the largest library in the world in a castle. It has the most books. Very, very interesting. Once, when you travel to France, you should tell your parents or your family or your friends to go visit Chateau de Chantilly. France has many, many, many castles. The most famous one is Versailles, but you should visit Chateau de Chantilly as well. Creative writing now. Have you ever visited a castle? Have you ever been to a castle in Europe or somewhere else? Have you visited castles? I know that in France there's a whole area called the Loire, and in the Loire there are many, 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 many castles. Have you ever visited a castle? If not, imagine a castle. Write a paragraph in the next few minutes about the castle. Use words from the lesson today. Do you remember the words that we learned today? Bridge, building, builders, hard. You know, the walls are very hard. It's hard work. Use these words in your paragraph. Share your paragraph with your teacher and with your friends, or maybe with your family. See you soon. creative were you in your paragraph? I'm very curious to see your writing. Have you ever visited a castle? If not, I hope you can imagine a castle and the paragraph you wrote is beautiful. Let's continue. Now at the end of the lesson, you can give and receive directions, remember? Gain new vocabulary and learn about famous castles in France. Do you remember I mentioned the two castles? Château de Chantilly and Versailles, of course. So now you can give and receive directions when you travel. I hope you gained new vocabulary words and you learned about famous castles in France. Hopefully, you will never get lost. Let's see what you can do now. Write these sentences in your notebooks. I can give and receive directions. And the next sentence is, I can find information about castles. I hope you enjoyed my lesson today. My name is Rivka Rosenberg. See you soon. Bye-bye.